In Cleus's office the head teacher of Hedgewood's School of Witchcraft and Wizardry had taken a seat, as invited. He had listened to Cleus's detailed, intricate plan and he had an answer ready. An answer which would determine the fate of the school itself. Cleus's plan was simple, and could yet prove to be very effective. "We know it's directly in the face of Europe," Cleus concluded, beginning to pace behind his desk. Lindveld watched him with interest. "Yes." The minister looked up. He was getting better, thought Lindveld, not so drawn, not so pale. He had risked everything for his brother. He understood that. "I must thank you for your help with Constantine's potion," the Minister for Magic continued, changing the subject. Lindveld smiled. "Well, thank you. Though I did very little," Lyd replied, modestly. "Oh, come now. You verified it. Without that, Remus would have had no chance. It was Snape who did most of the work, and Septimus. He engaged Constantine. And Cecilia." Cleus scoffed. "You should not underestimate your sister-in-law." Lyd leaned back in the chair as he watched Cleus's conflicted look. "She has shown her loyalty to your brother time and time again where other people would have walked away." Cleus gave Lindveld a withering look. "She is a necessary cog," he snapped. "I cannot do anything with her except hold her at arm's length." "Just as Oppenheimer did with his fissile uranium," laughed Lindveld, remembering. "So, we are agreed?" "I will meet with the ministry. I suggest you have a meeting with your staff," Cleus concluded. "I have had a report from St. Mungo's. Healer Grace. This is amazing, I know." He looked down at the letter that Cleus had showed him earlier. "The cellular ruptures are not occurring as fast as before, but they are still happening," said Cleus, a little dismissively. "Snape's potion stabilizing it has helped immensely, probably saved his life. Nerve damage. That's what has happened. As Constantine said, it is hard to kill the vector and preserve the host. His methods are usually more physical," agreed Lindveld, as he thought of the vampire hunter. "I should thank you," said Cleus suddenly, his prematurely lined face staring back at the young wizard. "Without you." "Without me, you would not have attempted to be so risky," chided the Lindveld. "I understand fully why you did it, Cleus." Indeed. Of anyone in this world, Cleus knew. Lindveld knew exactly why he had done everything thus far. "I will meet with the staff later on this afternoon," Lyd continued, "and explain the position. And you?" "I?" Cleus pulled out his pocket watch from his robe, light reflecting from its golden case, glinting in Lindveld's eye. "I will be late," he added, confirming the time with the cuckoo which had just eased lazily out of its clock. Without a backwards glance to his headmaster, Cleus Lupin hurried out of his office. 88,888,888. It was hard to explain just how many changes had happened in the last 4 weeks. From an easygoing population generally unhappy with the state of things and doing nothing in particular to do anything about the state of things, the ruling from Strasbourg had brought a jolt to Britain's people, both wizard and non-wizard alike. In a very short space of time they were going to have to get used to life being very different, to behaving in a different way, having impositions on their life, none of which was their choosing. Of course, very little in anyone's life really is of their choosing. It was just now the citizens had a person to blame for all of this, Draco Malfoy. It began with half-hearted demonstrations in the capital. London, used to protests, handled it well, pickets in Parliament Square and around Regent Street. But, when it was seen that this was not going to go away, more protests more fervent, wording on placards and banners more hysterical and extreme. "We will not be split from wizards." Placards read, "Segregation is apartheid. No consent to memory theft. Malfoy is a crook." Although that last one had been seen on the Strasbourg protest too. This, of course, was countered by wizards with conjurist outlooks, those who had bought Mendel Felixson's Art of the Wise, proclaiming that they were looking forward to being free to do as they liked again. That they had always been free to do what they liked, within the constraints of law, was conveniently overlooked. So, the only winners here, as had been the plan all along, were the two terrible wizards in the Black Forest, whose conniving and subterfuge had resulted in the wizard-non-wizard split ruling. Callias Lupin, contrary to his belief he was late, threw open the door of the cabinet office to see no one there. He looked at the clock on the wall. 2 hours early. What had he done to be so early? He waited, sliding lethargically into his chair, folding his arms and closing his eyes. He had been awake for nearly 36 hours and there had not even been the slightest respite of anything resembling good news. He had none to give here. At the meeting, his ministers' workloads were increasing daily and some, such as the Mullins, had taken to sleeping in their offices to deal with the complaints and inquiries with which the ministry had been flooded. He inhaled,